Today we're fishing on the beautiful Rosclare Jetty on Loch Earn, and it is a beautiful morning. Fantastic place to be. Let's roll that intro and see how we do. Something new today. I got given some groundbait to try. It's from Hinders, and it is that stuff there. Full disclosure, I've not paid for this. I was given this to give it a try. So that's what we're going to do today. Hey. It's already off to a juggling match. Smells quite hempy. Smells, well, I'm getting lots of hemp. Now, this 1.5 kilo bag. The advice I've been given is to go easy on the water, so I'm going to go easy on the water and use a drill to mix it. Standard sort of stuff. So go easy on the water and use a drill. I'm not putting any liquids at all in this. I'm just putting the groundbait and the water to give it a road test to see what it's like. So, go easy on the water. That didn't need an awful lot of water at all, did it? I'm smelling, again, I've said it a couple of times now, lots of hemp. I'm not sure if you guys will see that here, but there is a lot of crushed little particles in it. So it's going to go through a feeder. So let's see how it goes today. I'll probably have to add more water to that, because you always do. It sucks up water after the first 10 minutes. That's the same with any groundbait, but I'll give it a go, and I will let you know my honest opinion. Here we are, the lower Loch Earn. If you look on the map of County Fermanagh in Northern Ireland, you'll see the big Loch Earn. This is the big one. Today is a gamble. It is an out and out gamble. The fish literally could be here, or they could be in 50 miles that way or 50 miles that way. This is a gamble. I was going to go to a stretch called the airport stretch, which was that way, but there was some visiting English guys on there who were there for a holiday, so I didn't want to annoy them. So I drove down the road and came to the Rosclare Jetty. As I arrived, it was nice and calm. The wind hadn't quite kicked up, and there was fish topping. There was a couple of guys trout fishing. So I had a couple of casts around with the deeper, and I found fish sitting about 5 feet off the bottom. Well, there's an island directly in front of me. To the end of the island is where I was casting the deeper all over. There's a sunken reef in front of me. It had one or two small fish. I was suspecting they're perch because it's a reef, it's rocky, very snaggy. It'll hold fish. But there's a deeper area out here. You set the rod down without losing it. There's a deeper hole here, and this is where the fish on the deeper were being shown up. So I've clipped at 50 metres and I've clipped the 13-foot rod at 60 metres, and I'm just in the process of putting bait in. Because there's a lot of tow going that way, I'm expecting the scent to travel that way, So hopefully anything that is that way will come up a little bit. But like I said, today's a gamble. It's probably the hardest place I could have come to test out new ground bait. But initial thoughts of the Hinders stuff, it's mixed well. It's now dried up a bit, so I'm going to have to add a little bit more water to it. Goes in the feeder okay. It's a coarse sort of crumb. It's not a very, you get ground baits that are super fine, that are almost as fine as like a flour. This is a coarse, gritty. So I'm expecting it to be purely because of the particles that's in it. Like they can just by the smell of them. There's a hell of a lot of crushed hemp in it. Everything eats hemp. So it should be, you know, a winner. But this is one of the hardest places to come and test it, so. If we're talking at the end of the video and I have fucking nothing in the net, well then, hey. At least it's been a day out of the house, at least it's been a day fishing. This is one of those jetties that always confused me, you know. There's a marker literally, you know, less than 10 meters away from us where the reef begins, and this is where they chose to put a public jetty. So you get guys that are in boats that can't take the boats out here because they'll just ground them on the reef. Well, that's positive. That was baits, so there's obviously something home. Not going with big feeders today. Nearly lost a lot. Fuck, that would have been a video. No. You see the title now? Dipshit goes scuba diving for his rod. Gives himself hypothermia. And I'm just aiming for the end of that island. Nine seconds for the 60 gram feeder to hit the bottom. No, 45 gram feeder, not 60 gram. I'm sure the more educated out there will be able to tell me how deep it is. This is the venue where I showed the guys stocking eels. That was an interesting day. I wonder if I catch eels today. I could have fished in the middle of Enniskillen town in the river, but I made the conscious decision to avoid the river. It's a weekend. They have these boat pedalo things. That's about. They have these boat pedalo things. So that's all you need, you know, fishing quietly and like not annoying anybody. And some idiot in a floating bike coming past you trying to ruining your day. I would have made another video. Angler catches floating idiot on bicycle. Angler gets arrested for punching idiot in boat. Let's try and keep the violence to a minimum.
A few moments later.
Well, we are catching fish. Nothing very big, but we're catching fish. Unfortunately, we've got the jet skis out. You know, they're always fun. They are always fun. Throwing a 40 meter or 40 gram cage feeder. This is one of the guru ones. Throwing it 40 or 50 meters. The wind's just getting picked up a little bit. So we're having to give it a bit more oomph to get it out. Unfortunately, the bites we're getting are a little bit timid, so what I'm going to do, it was a 4-foot hook length, so I'm going to cut it down to 3 feet, and I hope that I can bring the fish in closer to me. Yeah, it'll do about right. Getting zebra mussels as well. I'd forgot there was as many here, but it is what it is. Just have to deal with it. Feeding maggots on the hook. Let's have a go and see what a 3-foot hook length does. I think the 4-foot was too long because I was getting the bits, the maggots were coming in smashed and I wasn't seeing anything on the tip. So that says to me that there's either it's very, very tiny small fish, or they're just smashing it up and they're not even making a move with it because the tip wasn't even moving. The bites that I have, the fish that I have caught, the bites weren't that positive. They weren't super positive bites. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. That was a bit better quality of a bite. And this is probably one that's a bit big to swing in, but it got swung in. There we go. Pristine Lochern roach. Three-foot hook length must have been the way forward. Seem to have a convoy of bell ends going up the loch now. Yeah. It's alright when they're at that distance, to a point, but it's when they decide to do donuts in here that, yeah, that would boil that would boil the piss a bit. Still catching fish though, which I suppose isn't too bad. Still a beast of a cast, having to chuck something, 50 meters. Especially when you're striking, you miss. So you're casting, realistically, at the start I was, I mean not so much anymore, but at the start I was casting a feeder every 90 seconds for a couple of hours just to get bait down. That's my standard approach to feeder fishing most of the time. It's get the bait in the water. So if there is fish in the area, the fish find it and the fish stay there. We're in the middle of September now, so this is the sort of time of year when the fish kind of think winter's on the way. Let's get as much food into us as we can. I mean, my bait trade today is floating maggots, casters, corn, normal maggots, worm, and a ton of Dynamite baits, mixed particles. And I've went through most of the tin of mixed particles. I basically take a handful of each of them and put them on the side of the ground bait and then mix the feeder through it. So the feeder in the middle is carrying all the particles, the hemp, the corn, and then the ends are plugged with ground bait. Just to get a bed of feed down there. That wasn't a bad bite. I missed that one. baits and shortening the hook length, I'm still getting those little rapid fast dinks like that. But I'm connecting with more this time than with the 4-foot hook length. And this is another roach. Nice pristine roach. Use the disgorger on this one. Yeah. I love the little red eyes. Let's get some more maggots on and get the feeder out again.
More moments later.
Just lost a hybrid. Let's hope that's the hybrids in the bay. It fell off at the net. About 1.5 pounds, maybe pushing 2 pounds. Oh, for fuck's sake. I think that's about time to call it a day. I've just been broke off by a pike. It took the second only decent fucking hybrid that I've had today. And as I look straight in front of me coming from the Atlantic, the big wall of rain. So it's time to put you into a plastic bag, at least for a little bit. And time to diddy mow. So I packed down all the gear. I never got to use the 13-foot rod today. There wasn't really much of a call for it. The 2 occasions I did cast with it didn't make a difference. I was still getting little rapid, unhittable small fish, unhittable bites like ding, and that's it, the maggots are smashed. So I'll put this away. This is my my longer distance setup. This is my fishing at comfortably fishing from 70 to 80 meters comfortably. This is my this is a 13-foot 2 80 gram Dutch Master. I do have another version of this. I have a 14-foot 120 I think gram Dutch Master, but that's just a tank. You know, I would only really use that if I'm fishing somewhere on the river and the river was moving. It is a real beast of a rod. It's got the Ultegra 550. Again, a cracking reel. Guys that fish for carp use them. I've seen guys that fish for pike using them, but they're beautiful feeder reels. Absolutely amazing reels for the feeder. Especially when you're fishing at long distances. If you're having to cast long distances all day, you know, you need a decent reel. You need a reel that's going to be able to grind, you know, haul back feeders and deal with it. The Preston Extremity, the reel I have on the other rod, again, isn't a bad reel. But at big distances, I found it a little bit wanting. But up to 50 meters, maybe 60, isn't so bad with it. Yeah, that's not so bad. Also, don't tell the wife. Please don't tell the wife. I've kind of ordered another Dave Lum bait blaster for the pike fishing, but again, That's just between you and me. Don't tell the wife. Be honest with you. If you tell the wife, there might not be no videos. Because I might be stabbed in my sleep. But let me get all this stuff packed into the van and I'll show you what I've caught. What's the lot? There's one of the better perch. There's one of the nicer roach. Oh, we got some good perch. Nothing to sing songs and dance about, but not so bad. Wasn't a bad day. My back is sore. I'm going home for beer. Right. So, thoughts on the ground bait. I actually quite enjoyed the ground bait. I thought it was good ground bait. The smell was pungent all day. You know, all day I was smelling the hemp. All day I was getting hemp. It didn't take an awful lot of water to mix it, which was, it reminded me a lot of the Dynamite baits ground bait range, where, you know, with that stuff, the slightest little bit of water too much and it went from a lovely fluffy ground bait to clag, to pure clay you couldn't use. So I think it would be like that if you added too much water. The only issue that I could foresee, and this is purely a Northern Ireland, maybe somewhere with the same sort of weather as Northern Ireland, unless your ground bait bucket had a cover, 2 or 3 real downpours of rain, I think it would flood out your ground bait. But it didn't really matter today because I had the ground bait bowl kind of, I just threw the towel over it. The rain wasn't that heavy when I was fishing. The weather forecast said the rain was going to start about 6:30, 7-ish. It arrived at 4:30, so it arrived early. It isn't that bad. I had a day out, I caught some fish, caught some beautiful roach, really nice, well conditioned roach, and a couple of nice perch. I did say earlier on in the video if I was going to pick a place that was as difficult a place to go and catch fish, it would have been Ross Bear. You know, if I had went somewhere like Ballinalek, the river system of Ballinalek, or Dolan's Ring, you've seen fish there before, I could pretty much guarantee that I would catch fish there. It would have to be a very, very bad day for me not to go there and catch fish. So, to come somewhere like the problem isn't that Ross Blair is a bad venue. It isn't a bad venue. The issue is the lower loch of North, the lower loch Earn is just massive. By the sheer size of the place, it is just massive. So literally the fish could be 50 miles in either direction from where you're fishing. For big venues like that there, to make the best of them, 2 or 3 nights during the week you would have needed to have got down and dumped in a lot of ground bait and particles and something to attract them and hold them there. And then of course you've got the whole, because I live 30 miles away, I work full time now, which is great. I'm not being annoyed at having to go to work. It's fucking fabulous! Having a full-time job again, having a decent wage. Awesome, I'm loving it. If I had access to the place on a more regular basis, like as I say, if I lived in Enniskillen, then I would have some areas that would be constantly getting feed put in. And my mission every weekend would be to see if I can get 100 kilos of fish, or 100 pounds of fish. It's kind of difficult to do it when you're a one-man band and you're having to go from, you know, where you live to this place to fish. And I know there's going to be guys out there going 30 miles? Bah! That's on your doorstep. It is, yeah. But I have an 11-week-old little girl that likes to have attention. And after my wife spent the full day looking after her, kind of very happy that I finish work and come home so she can go tiger it. Anyway, until the next time, troops, tight lines.